I know my talk is not in agenda, but that's not a real talk, so don't try to find some sense in it. Just like consider it as a game and as some fun story. So first of all, I want to say that this story is real, and so let me make some introduction for you. So we work in a company called Matic. We have primary development unit in Lviv, so we are startup. But that's not a subject, so don't consider it as advertisement. So okay, setup. We have API implemented on, like, first of all, we have a portal. We have closed portal for loan origination market system. Probably someone knows what is it, what kind of pain is it. Okay, and we have our application implemented on Angular from front-end side and Rails API on back-end side. And in order to authenticate user from Angular, we use some like server-side generated tokens, which we generate on Rails side, and then Angular just talks to API. And one more important thing that we use, at least for that time, for time of this story, we used device for handling all like login stuff, remind, password, blah blah blah, activation, invitation, and so on, just to not reinvent the wheel. And also, second important thing that we don't have open registration. All customers are only by invitations. So all customers that use our portal should be invited. And now, to make this a little more interesting, I bet 100 hryvnias, it's almost $4, for first person who guess the reason before end of this story. So, okay, so story itself. 1 year ago, in the March of 2016, we've got some strange ticket from, like, not ticket, but strange behavior from our support channel. So we've got activity from one customer which hasn't accepted the invitation. So we have 3 states for customers: new, invited, accepted, and only accepted customer when he set his password can enter to the portal. And we've got one guy with funny ID 666, so that's real case. Invited, so he hasn't accepted invitation. He has entered the portal somehow. Weird. And I've got to investigate this case. How was it possible? So that should be too intriguing right now. So okay, first of thing, has intercom lied to us? Maybe that customer hasn't visited our portal ever. But in console, we've got this user, like Bruce, someone, blah blah blah, and we've got the token for this user. So he was really entered the portal. And now, does someone have some suggestions? Maybe not. Like let's get some, because $4 here. Almost. Okay, so what what did I suppose it to do? Like how could I investigate this case? Probably I wanted to get know either this case common in our application. So I've got all tokens, like all users that visited our portal, and I've got all tokens for invited users. I've got two out of 600 tokens. So from one side, it's not one, like it's like a systematic, but from another side, it's not too frequently. So that's weird, really weird. Probably some suggestions, no?
How about that condition?
What?
Race condition.
Race condition? How? Like?
Something like she sent any request to authorize and similar sent request to deny invitation.
So, who you consider this user as hacker? Like who could do?
I don't know.
So probably I started to consider this user, at least these two users, as like hackers. So I started to anticipate this solution. And by the way, I'm a person who doesn't believe in the miracles. So I love programming for that thing that everything is determined and certainty, and everything has own reason. So there should definitely be the reason behind this. Okay, so what have I tried to do next? So I started to search bugs in the source code. I checked how we create users. I checked how we invite users. I checked how we activate users. Only weird thing that I found that this piece of code, like, who has worked with device? Okay, so by default, device requires the password field for a model. And because we have password set only for active users, active customers, we didn't want to invent some like without password. We just generated a random password by default, and then on activation, users just changed it. So probably weird thing. And who has got some suggestions? Maybe no.
Token not unique, I don't know, passive and unique.
Someone guessed about.
That's what I thought. Like someone is too clever to guess what this function method return is 20 length password random and so on. So I started to anticipate even more because we may deal with something cool. So next step is to check logs. Okay, so now next slide, sorry. So I went to the server and to find some logs, but it turned out that we removed all logs 3 days before because we have run out of space. That is startup practice, sorry. But again, I reminded that we have a paper trail with backup. So I randomly, occasionally set up a backup of logs on S3. So I took this date and went to S3, AW3, and found that logs for that day, for that hour, and I found, and I've got this user here. I've got this user who has logged to the portal as officer, and okay, that's almost the end of the story. I scrolled a couple requests behind, and last chance to guess.
token was the same as the hashed password?
No. $4. What? No. Sorry. Previous speaker, probably, but no. So, okay. Answer, reset password. Like, he just went to forgot your password form, and even he was not active, device by default allowed him to change password, and he just, without activation, without any onboarding process, he just passed it. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, and this is going to live with me. Thanks.